now stage 3 of the Simple Steps programme, so congratulations and well done for getting this far. Now that you're 6 weeks post-surgery, we're going to want to build on that core stability and that mobility that we've started to gain in the previous sections so that we can prepare you for getting back to the activities that you enjoy. I have Fittleworth Ambassador Rachel with me today. Hi Rachel.
Hi Bex. Hi everyone.
I'm going to take Rachel through some of the exercises in this stage. But as usual, as with all the other steps, if there's anything that doesn't feel comfortable for you, just miss out that exercise, work within your own limitations, and know that you can always come back to an exercise at a later date when it feels more comfortable. So, if you're ready, Rachel, the first exercise we're going to do is box breathing. Box breathing you can do in any comfortable position, so you can be seated, standing, or lying. So Rachel, do you want to have a lie down? I'll stay in sitting and we'll demonstrate. Good. So in whichever is your chosen position, you want to just lengthen out the spine a little bit, grow nice and tall, and relax those shoulders down away from the ears. And we're going to start with our belly breathing, which you did with Julie in the previous stages. So pop one hand over your belly button. Okay, let's take a nice deep breath in through the nose. And take that breath all the way down to the belly. You're pushing your hand out with your breath. And then exhale through the nose. And relax the belly. Good, let's take a couple more deep breaths in this position. Again, sometimes it helps to imagine you've got a balloon in your belly. You're trying to inflate the balloon with your ear as you breathe in, and then deflate it as you breathe out. Okay, and with box breathing, what we're going to do is we're going to inhale for a count of 4. We're going to hold that for 4. We're going to exhale for 4, and then we're going to hold that for 4. So we'll begin with our count. You can choose any number that feels comfortable for you. Rachel and I are going to start with a count of 4 today. So when you're ready, Rachel, let's take a deep breath in for 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4. Again, in, 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4. And we'll add in our first hold this time. So again, in your own time when you're ready, we'll go in for 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, and exhale, 2, 3, 4. Again, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4. Good. Okay, Rachel?
Yeah, thank you. Good.
Let's add in our final step, so we're going to add in our second hold here as well. So beginning when you're ready with our inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, and hold, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, and hold, 2, 3, 4. Good. Well done, Rachel. Again, like I say, you can pick any number that feels comfortable for you. If you felt like that was too long a hold, you can shorten your number down. And if you want to pause the video and continue with your box breathing, you're welcome to. It's a great exercise for any situations where you feel a bit stressed or a bit anxious. It can really help to bring the heart rate and the breath rate down. And then Rachel and I are going to move on to our next exercise of this stage. So we're going to move on to number 2, which is the hip twist in level 1, where we're going to work that core a little bit harder. So we'll demonstrate this one in lying. Rachel and I are lying on our mats on the floor, but you're welcome to do this one lying on your bed. You can also do it in sitting, which I'll demonstrate in a minute. So when you're ready, let's start in our rest position, which Julie took us through in the previous stages. So just to recap, those feet are hip width apart, knees are in line with the feet. We're bringing our pelvis into that neutral position, so you can start by rolling it forwards, rolling it backwards, and finding the middle of those 2 moves. Good. Lengthen the spine, relax the shoulders down. And for this one, I find it quite useful to use the hands over the pelvis. So grab the pelvis with your hands. Good. Relax your elbows down, so we've got a bit of feedback from the hands. And when you're ready, we're going to start by moving our right leg first. So let's go over our core activation, which Julie just did with you in your previous 2 sections. So we'll take a big breath into the belly. And as you begin to exhale, let's engage that core, engage the pelvic floor. And we're going to control the right knee slowly outwards and down towards the mat, towards the floor. And then inhale to return it. Good. And we'll stay with that same side. So again, inhale to prepare. Exhale, roll it out to the side, down towards the floor. And inhale to return. Good. Keep going on that side. We want to make sure that as we're moving that right side, the left side stays completely still. So imagine you've got a tumbler of water or your favourite drink balanced on that left knee. You want to keep that left side completely still as we move the right. And your hands are on your pelvis just to ensure that there's no rotation going on around that pelvis. So pelvis stays nice and still. We're trying to prevent it from rolling across with that right knee. Good. And don't worry too much how far out that knee comes. What will stop the knee, what will limit the knee is your core contraction and your ability to maintain your stability and your neutral pelvis. The minute you feel you lose your core contraction or you're starting to wobble, you can come back in from that stage. Right, that looks good. Let's take it back to center and we'll do the same on the other side. So this time right leg stays completely still. We'll inhale to prepare, engage your core, and exhale, roll that left knee out to the side. Good. Inhaling to return and exhaling to roll it out. Only taking it as far as you can control and as far as is comfortable. Good. Once you get the hang of this exercise, you don't have to have the hands on the pelvis. It's just quite a helpful feedback. Good. Let's take our last 2 on this side. Lovely. And then we'll take it back to our starting position. Good. If you stay there, Rachel, I'm just going to grab a chair and I'll show you how you can do this one in sitting too. So I know Julie went over how to sit in your rest position on a chair in the earlier stages. So all you would do with this stage is you'd again bring your legs hip width apart, stand up or sit up nice and tall on your seat. Engage your core, bring your pelvis into neutral, and again we would roll the knee out on one side, and we would inhale to return it. So you want to really be seated on the kind of front half of your chair so that you can get a good roll out and back in. Super. Good. How does that one feel, Rachel?
Yeah, that feels, it just feels nice stretch.
Good. Great. Okay, we'll move on. So this one, we're in lying again, and we're now going to come on to what we call your scissors level 1. So we will begin into your rest position again. So just take a minute, always give yourself a little bit of time just to set up your rest position and make sure you're comfortable. And we're going to deepen that core contraction and work the core muscles a little bit harder again yet. So arms can be down by your side or onto your pelvis if you find that quite helpful. So we'll start in the same way. We'll take a deep breath into the belly. We'll engage those deep abdominals in your pelvic floor, just gently to their 50%. And as you exhale, this time we're going to keep the left leg still and we're going to float the right leg up. So we're 90 degrees at the hip, 90 degrees at the knee, and the toe is pointing away from you. Good. We'll inhale to return it down. Good. And exhale, bring it back up again. Good. Keep going. Using that inhale to return, that exhale to come back up again. Maintaining that deep core contraction and just watching your pelvic neutral here. So particularly as you lower that leg down, it will sometimes try and roll your pelvis forwards. You're going to work hard with your core to keep that pelvis in its neutral position. Just trying to maintain relax through the shoulders and trying to relax the ribcage down. Good. And again, your left side is perfectly still. Lovely. Let's take final 2 on this side. Great. And then when you're ready and you're back into your comfortable rest position, we'll go on to the other side. Exhaling up. And inhaling to return. Great, that looks perfect, Rachel. Sometimes it's tempting to bring the knee in a little bit beyond 90 degrees because it's easier, but you've stopped just at the perfect level there. Good, so just by adding in a little bit of movement to our deep core contraction, we're challenging it a little bit more. And challenging it some. Lovely. Let's take our final 2 this side. Perfect. Great, that looks really good. So we'll move on again. We're going to move on to our next exercise, on to number 4, which is our bridge. So we're beginning in the rest position here. If you have a cushion behind your head, try and take it out so long as that's comfortable. We want you as flat with the floor as you can be. If you feel that's too uncomfortable and you can't stop your chin from poking up to the sky, leave your pillow in, but try and have it as flat as you can. Good. So let's start again in our rest position with our neutral pelvis. And what we're going to do here with our bridge is we're going to spine curl. So we're going to try and lift your bum, your pelvis, and your lower back up off the floor, and we're going to try and segmentally place them back down again. So what helps often with this one is to start with your pelvic tilting, which you did in the previous stage. So let's tuck the tailbone underneath you, gently press the lower back down into the floor. So you're sort of squashing that imaginary blueberry underneath your lower back. And then we'll roll the pelvis forward. So we're lifting the lower back off your imaginary blueberry. Good. Let's go back and forth a couple of times. As you go, just ensure those knees are staying over your feet. They've not relaxed in together and they've not come out to the side. We've created a nice alignment. Shoulders are relaxed away from the ears, spine is long. And then next time you tilt backwards and you crush your imaginary blueberry, we're going to pause there. Take a big inhale again and engage your core. We're going to gently squeeze the bum muscles here together as well. So give your bum cheeks a good squeeze together. Press through the feet. We're going to lift up tailbone first. Point that tailbone up to the sky. And then lift your bum. Slowly lift your lower back segment by segment up off the floor until you're as high as you can comfortably go. We're going to pause to hold. Good. And when you're ready, we're going to exhale and roll each segment all the way back down to the floor again. Okay, so vertebrae by vertebrae, we're peeling them up and then we're replacing them back down on the floor again. The last thing to go down is that tailbone. Good. Let's try again. Tilt backwards, crush your blueberry. Inhale to prepare, engage that core. Let's exhale, push through the feet, lift the bum, lift the lower back, peel each segment up off the ground. Squeezing the bum, lifting the pelvis as high as you comfortably can, but making sure we relax that ribcage down. Inhale to hold, and then we'll exhale, roll it back down again. Good, let's keep going in your own time. If you feel like the back of the thighs, the hamstrings are going to cramp, if you feel like they're getting really tight, bring your heels a little bit closer in towards your bum. Good, and as you come up, try and make sure that pelvis stays nice and level. We've not dipped down on one side. Really give those bum muscles a good squeeze. And exhale to replace each segment back down to the floor. Good. There will be a few sections, and most of us are quite stiff in our spine somewhere. So you'll feel there's a few sections often that come down as one lump rather than nice and segmentally. Don't worry, that's completely normal. The more that you do it, the easier that it gets. When you get to those stiff segments, you can just slow it down a little bit and control it just as best you can. Great. And we'll take our final two. That's it. Exhale to come up. Inhale to hold. Exhale to roll down again. Good. And we'll take one final one. Good. Still watching those knees, making sure they've not rolled in to meet each other. And relax back down and have a little breather. Great, well done, that looked good. Okay with that one?
Yeah, I prefer those stiff segments, but they got a bit better. Thanks.
Good. We're going to work those glute muscles, those bum muscles a little bit harder. So this time we're going to roll you around into lying on one side. So if you have a turn around to face me first of all, and then we're going to stick your cushion, if you can, between your shoulder and your ear, so you can relax right down with your head right down onto the floor. And what we're going to work here, we're going to continue to work on the core, but we're going to work our glute muscles, which sit where roughly the back pocket of your jeans would be. Those muscles are really important for helping create a little bit of stability around the pelvis. and a little bit of support around the spine too. So you're going to lie on your side. Once you've got your cushion in, relax your head down as much as you can. If you don't have a cushion, you can just bend your elbow and relax your head down onto your elbow instead.
I'll do that.
Good. That's it. And then we want the heels in line with the bum, with the knees bent. So sometimes what helps is if you slightly look behind you, lift those heels up so you can see them, place them in line with your bottom.
Yeah, great.
Great. And then the top hip, we want the kind of widest part of your hip to be directly stacked on top of the one underneath. So usually when we lie, that top hip is sort of slunk backwards. So if you just bring it ever so slightly forwards, so it's directly on top of the same one underneath. Good. And then we want to bring you into pelvic neutral again. So in this position, we're just going to tuck the tailbone underneath you, flatten the lower back. Good. And then roll that pelvis forward. And again, we're trying to come into the middle of those two moves. So let's usually just tuck the tailbone underneath you a little bit more than feels natural. Because as we come onto our sides, it encourages our pelvis forwards. So a little tuck under with the tailbone. And then we want to create a nice bit of length through this top side. So you're just going to push that top hip down, create a little bit of length here. So we're trying to create a small gap between you and the floor underneath. Good. Great. So again, if we go back to our fruit analogy, this time we've got a little grape between our sides and the floor. You're going to try and not to crush that grape whilst we do this exercise. Good. Okay, when you're ready, we're going to keep that pelvis fixed in that position. Take a big breath in through the nose, right down to the belly. And as you begin to exhale, let's engage your core. And we're going to float the top knee and top leg right up, just to hip height. Good, and then we're going to inhale, bring it down. Good, exhale, lift the leg to hip height. And inhale, bring it down. Good, let's keep going here. And you want to just watch that knee and that heel. Make sure they're coming up at the same height. Good, and then coming back down again. Great. Same with the other exercises. How far you go isn't so important. What's important here is the ability to maintain that pelvis in its position without rolling around as you lift that leg. So the pelvis stays stacked, tucked under, and you still maintain that length so we're not crushing your grape. Okay, and as we begin to do a few here, we'll want to feel like that back pocket area is starting to work. Feeling this one, Rachel?
Yep, definitely.
Good. If you feel that back pocket area isn't working, you can shuffle the legs around a little bit. Sometimes you'll need to bend up the knees a little bit more. You might need to tuck the tailbone underneath you a little bit more. Sometimes just a slight adjustment will make all the difference, and you'll suddenly feel it start to work that back pocket area. Wonderful. Let's take one more this side, and then we'll do the other side. Good. Let it come down. We'll bring it forwards for a little rest. Good, and give it a well done pat. And then when you're ready, let's take it on to the other side. So you can either roll around on your mat face away from me, and Rachel and I are going to switch our head positions round, so we're lying with the opposite leg on top, so that you can still see us. Good. So again, once you're in position, let that head fully relax. Let's place the heels in line with the bum again. Good. We're going to give a gentle tuck under the tailbone. Stack those hips one directly on top of the other. And then create that length through the top side so we're just not quite crushing that grape underneath. Perfect. We'll take a big inhale in. We'll engage that core. And as you exhale, let's lift that leg just up to hip height, no higher. And inhale to return. Good, just moving nice and slowly here so that you can maintain that pelvis in its position. Good, and you can maintain your control and your core activation. Great. Looking good. So you can do as many as it takes here to fatigue those bottom muscles. It might only be 3, it might take 20, just work within your own comfort levels. Rachel and I will take our last 2 again. Great, well done. Let's bring it down. Give it a little breather and a well done pat again. Let's give it a little rest before we go on to our 6th and our final exercise. So this final exercise is in standing. So if you make your way slowly back up from lying on your side, and we'll come into a standing position. And when you're in standing, you want to have something to hold on to. So Rachel and I both have a chair each. Good. But a piece of furniture will do as long as it's sturdy, or if you've got a nice worktop, that's an ideal thing to have. Good. If you stand, so your chair is like in front of you, so you can take a hold of it. Great. And then let's correct your posture in standing first. So we want those feet hip width apart. So sometimes it helps to start with them together, and then turn the toes out, turn the heels out, so we're hip width apart. Good. Create a lovely bit of length through the spine, so let's push the floor away from you. Stand as tall as you can, and imagine a piece of string is pulling the crown of your head up to the ceiling. Good. Relax those shoulders down. We'll bring the pelvis into neutral. So again, if you want to grab hold of it, sometimes it helps to bring it into each extreme to find our neutral. So if you roll it all the way forwards, we've got a big dip in the lower back, and then tuck the tailbone underneath you, roll it backwards so our lower back is flat, and then find the middle of those 2 moves. Great. And then finding the base of our rib cage, just make sure that that rib cage is relaxed down and we've not sprung open. And we'll take our core activation in this position. So again, drawing those lower abdominals together and inwards, lifting gently with the pelvic floor, zipping from back to front. Take everything just to a gentle 50% contraction. And then let's hold on to our chair. So this time, we've got that core activation. When you exhale, we're going to roll up onto our tiptoes, lift the heels, and inhale to return. Good, keep going, up and down, trying to maintain that lovely posture. So try and make it a straight upwards movement rather than a forwards movement. Just lifting as high as you comfortably can and straight back down again. Exhale up, inhale lower. Good, we'll keep going here. Again, you're just doing as many as it takes to make you feel a little bit tired. You'll feel those calves start to work. If I come straight onto you, you want to make sure that we're not swinging the pelvis out side to side, and we're not leaning too far forwards or too far backwards. So sometimes it helps to imagine you're in a glass box, a narrow glass box, and we're trying not to touch the sides as you come up and as you come down. Good, so we're working on maintaining that lovely posture, maintaining a bit of core activation, and we're strengthening through really the whole body here. How's that one feeling, Rachel?
Yeah, that feels good. I can feel that.
Good, calf starting to work there.
Yeah, definitely.
Good. Let's take our final one. And relax it back down again. Good, and relax. Well done. That's all 6 exercises in stage 3. Well done, and well done for getting this far.
Thanks, Bex. Brilliant.
You're welcome. Bye.